I missed like 12 days of school teaching, and I never missed before. I think I was just weak from, so tired, so weak from the sun. I think I should have had a light box, you know, or whatever. But otherwise, I had officers' kids, and that was an experience, you know.
Yeah.
You had to really be strict.
Well, we had Kodiak has the Coast Guard base for all the search and rescue and you know,
So
Bering
who was
Sea.
in school then of your kids? Any?
Well, we had the two younger girls
Yeah.
for that part.
The other two are grown up?
The other two, well,
College.
Sherry was in, Jody was gone. She was married, and Sherry was supposed to start college when we moved up there,
Yeah.
but she decided to take a year off, so she spent 1 year with us
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
But the other two girls were in elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Elementary
thought the
into
school,
middle.
they were building a new one, so I would have moved up to that, you know.
Yeah.
They were building new. It was a wonderful lot of people moved there now. Really, when you think about it.
Well, yeah.
Someone wouldn't want that much winter, I suppose.
If it's the type of person that likes to live in Alaska or in that environment,
Yeah.
yeah, they're moving up there.
It's a beautiful environment, and we went to a really nice church.
If you don't like to be outside, if you don't want to do things outdoors,
Yeah.
it's not a place to live, you know.
Yeah, if you like, see, Larry like fishing and stuff. Oh, they went salmon fishing. Oh,
Of course, and after you left, they
Changed.
put the pipeline in.
Oh, yes, that's right. That
So
was-
they had the permanent fund, which was wonderful because now, you know, number one, it paid for all the state finances, so there was
Yeah.
no state income tax,
Well, that would help.
and everybody that was a resident of the state got a dividend check.
That was
So,
nice.
oh yeah, because the
No, I
the year
don't-
we left, each person got $2,000.
Oh,
So
that would get some
a
people there.
family, you know, we were Chelsea and Amanda, myself, and Debbie. So we had 4 in our family. So we got a check for $8,000 from the government.
Wasn't that something?
When everybody else was sending checks to the government to pay their income tax,
Taxes you were getting.
we were getting a check.
Say, is that still gold?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well,
They don't have as much money now because it fluctuated with
Yeah.
their investments,
Yeah.
and their investments were determined by how much money they were getting from the oil.
Yeah,
And with the price of oil coming down,
Yeah.
that has hurt them.
yeah.
But still,
What I noticed, what I heard about, you know, they paved the whole road. When we went, we drove on gravel a lot, nerve-wracking. And this guy
get
was
up
from
the
Kentucky.
Alaskan
I
highway?
couldn't go on the ship because he was enlisted in that.
Mhm.
So I rode with another couple that I hardly knew. He was from Kentucky, and he'd just keep saying, "Don't you worry, I'm used to these mountain roads." And he had a, he drove. We got to be friends, but he drove just like drove quite fast for the
Yeah.
road. I lost 6 pounds on the way
really.
because I was so jumpy and nervous. And she was a little heavy set, and she ate all the way, throwing out wrappers out the window. She was. But
The road
he-
is nice.
now
They're constantly working on it, so there's always open stretches
Yeah.
of gravel
Yeah,
where
there
they're
still
working.
is.
Oh, but well, see, because you know, the gravel gets broken up
Oh,
with the
yeah.
frost heaves,
Yeah.
so they have to go back, and so they'll strip an area. You know, it might be 50 miles of road
Yeah.
that they're working on one summer, and
Yeah.
that will be all, you know.
Finish, yeah. They
But
had to
otherwise, the road is all done, and it's really beautiful.
Because we really had, and it was constant mountains. You really get, if you're not used to them, or used to flat Faribault County, you know,
Yeah.
that would really seem like too
But,
much.
but even that, most of the, you know, sort of hairpin curves, and
Are they
now
the-
it's all opened up so that they, you know,
They're not quite so hairpin?
no, they're
Oh.
nice, big, broad, you know,
Oh, that would be
4-lane
different,
roads
yeah.
through some areas.
Yeah. One of Trish's sister-in-laws too, they'd made a trip there. She said Betty and Bob went by ship. They went on a
They did a
cruise to
cruise,
it.
right.
That was nice
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But I wouldn't want to drive it again. I would ride it again. We'd ask people along the way, "What do you do then in winter?" And then they tell us about curling, and then they got school over the radio for some of their kids.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
I suppose now it's all online or whatever. Everything is different, but it really seemed. And I actually saw mounted police. I always wanted to with his red coat on. You saw him coming. He was way down in the
Yeah.
part. Yeah, it was experience to someone who had never been farther than Minneapolis.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, at that
Yeah,
time.
it
I
was.
think. Anyway.
Especially like you say, at that time because
Yeah.
it wasn't a state, it was a
Yeah.
territory, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
real rough,
Yeah, it was rough.
rough country.
They had, they had a lot of stores. They had a lot of really good eating places.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
good fish, especially at the airport. We flew out, and then flew out before Lisa was born. So when we came home at night. It was kind of scary in the plane, you know. And everybody looked at me, you know, because I was pregnant, hoping I would decide to
hoping
have
you
the
would.
baby. Well, there's.
All right, so I got your stuff. These are your letters
Mm-hmm.
and the
You're-
envelopes, and then these were
Don't you
the.
wish we would have
these
had
were-
more letters?
Yeah,
Did you get those made up?
I made
Leslie?
these up too,
Yeah,
so you
those
can
were
put
good.
those in your album when you're done.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, the letters are fun to read.
Oh, even my son-in-law, you know, you wouldn't think he's interested reading them. And when she talks about, I disc this field, this must have been with horses.
Well, yeah. In fact, one of the letters she talks about somebody's field. They had the engine come and break it, and what that was a tractor. That's what they would call, because that was 1918.
And when she did mention a few things that helped how it went, you know, like they were getting some kind of line in railroad, some
The,
line. She was so
the railroad
excited.
line was coming through, so
I couldn't believe Nels's, their nice writing, and I couldn't believe how good, how close it, and where's Pembroke, Saskatoon? That's a place, I like to visit those places. We would have relatives there because they had children, and
Yeah.
she had grandchildren, Jessie,
yeah.
you know, too. But that they sent them packages, it was just like the old days, they'd get a box with
Yeah.
clothes.
And she talks about making a dress or
And making
making a skirt out of
clothes.
a dress, and the kids are happy because they got some underwear.
Yeah,
you know.
oh, they,
And she talked about her apartment that
Yeah,
she
she
got
had
in town.
linoleum.
There was linoleum on the
that
floor.
was a big deal, and,
Yeah.
ah.
There's only 3 rooms, but it's furnished. It had a bed and it had a stove
Just
and it had
like-
linoleum on the floor.
To me, she was really a pioneer.
Yeah, amazing,
And
isn't
then
it?
that man whose cows, or people got in and ate her crop. And then the landlord who was trying to sell them out. But when she talked about Sam, that was Uncle Selmer. He must have helped out with money.
Well, I was going to
Yeah.
ask you about that because she
Yeah.
mentioned Selmer a number
Yeah,
of times.
yeah.
But he
Selmer-
didn't own anything up there, did he?
No, but he must have just helped her with, he did buy a place up north eventually.
Okay.
At Hackensack, Minnesota.
All
I don't
right.
know how they settled that when he died, if the kids got that or what.
Because I was
But-
kind of wondering if maybe Nels
Yes,
had gotten Selmer to come up, and
Yeah.
they both had a
I don't think
claim
Selmer
for a
bought-
while, and Selmer's, because it almost sounded like Selmer had, that she had some land that was Selmer's.
Or Selmer bought her land, but
Yeah,
either
I
way,
don't
he
know.
didn't have any land in Canada then. Eddie and his wife, the ones that got killed in
Right.
the accident, they went up there. They actually visited up there.
Okay.
I really wish the rest of us could while Jessie was alive. But when the 2 girls came and stayed with us one summer, the houses with the 2 families with all the kids, there's where they stayed, of course. Not an Aunt and them who had all that. Anyway, we were so amazed, mostly.
So you got to
because
meet
they-
this
yes, we
Gladys,
knew
or Gladys
Florence.
and Florence.
We got to meet them. But what we were so amazed is they smoked cigarettes. And they both died young. They smoked a lot, and they had Black Cat cigarettes. I smoked in those days, and when we went across, we'd stop and get those Canadian cigarettes. They
Okay.
had Black Cats, and I don't know what else they had. It was just crazy. But we were so, like, shocked. I can't remember how long they stayed even. But it was exciting. Florence and Gladys are coming from. Too bad Jessie didn't come, too.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
outlived them all, both of them.
Yeah, 'cause she was
Many
like
years.
90 or something,
Oh,
wasn't she?
yeah. Then Tricia looked her up, and she not only married that second guy, Tricia said she had married a 3rd time.
Hmm.
She found it on the computer. My kids can do computer, but
Okay.
I can't at all.
Uh-huh.
And I said, just leave me alone because I don't want to do it. And like when they text, my fingers aren't that small with those little numbers. And when they tell you anything, they go blah, 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 blah. And I finally said, you have to slow down. But I got a cousin that says, get a laptop and I'll teach you. And she looked me up on it, and it started going back, and if we'd paid, I said, I'm going to pay sometime to see how far back it'll go. If it'll get Alaska in there, I think it'd be kind of cool. It's interesting, yeah.
But anyway, I enjoyed those
Oh.
letters quite a bit. Like you say, it is a shame because even though they're just little notes, there's so much information about
Yeah.
the way they were living.
If we'd had more,
Yeah.
it'd been more of a thing. I started writing about it. I was going to send to a country magazine. Then I thought, oh, it isn't enough. And then I thought, What if the relatives see it and are furious that you wrote about their family, and don't you have to have permission? What if you didn't give names?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
think people
I
really
don't know,
care.
but it would be an interesting pioneer story, you know.
I didn't know if you wanted, but I made copies of all
Oh,
the,
yeah, oh, that
all
was
your wedding
nice.
pictures.
Oh, because I didn't have enough of those. He stayed.
Isn't that a beautiful
Yeah,
picture?
that was a nice picture of Hannah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
that was. And that's Larry's sister back there, Kitty, her name is, or was, she's a nurse. Oh, that is so clear. Boy, you've got good equipment. My gosh.
Well,
I'll have to put those in the wedding book and take the little ones out. God. Oh yeah, this was good of the sisters.
yeah.
All I remember is those caps dug into your head.
Yeah.
We wore them too long, we got a headache. But that was, and the whole thing was rented. I rented the wedding dress for $35.
Oh,
In
really?
Minneapolis, I went up and stayed with Norma and Bob, and that's where we found them, and they were all rented. And how glad they would all burn, but not my headpiece or my shoes or what I carried, the Bible and the flower.
Yeah.
That's a good picture. She got mad at us because we always introduced her as our older sister. You know, we just automatically
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
And she said,
Stop saying I'm older.
you don't have to keep repeating that. Yeah, I thought that was cute. Brenda was so little. Look how tiny our waists then. We were small at one time. Boy, did we get fat. I never could get anything to fit. I always had to have it altered, and most of them did. Yeah, that is really nice. I might just put them in our own book, a special book. There, Larry looks like he's going to be sent to prison.
That's right.
When he walked the girls down the aisle, my girls too, he always had that look on his face like he didn't like that.
And then that was
And
nice.
I think so many are gone.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's nice.
Orby and Norma and Dwayne and Larry.
So,
Otherwise, the rest are.
who are these two? Are they brothers of?
No, that's a brother of Larry's, Dwayne.
Okay,
He died
okay.
just not too terrible long ago. He died of cancer. Oh, his
Yeah.
wife died a few months.
And this
Was a friend of hers from town,
Okay.
and that was Arnie, of course.
Yeah.
They should have had him turn his head. You know, they always should with the ears. But he grew a lot nicer looking as he got older. You know, he really did. And Tim was always a cute little kid.
So who's?
Tim is Larry's youngest brother.
Oh,
He
okay.
was spoiled, but he got a job with the DNR or whatever. He graduated. He's the only one of the boys that went way through college. Where
Okay.
Reggie went part way and then dropped it.
All right.
Tim married a girl from that town where they're conscientious objectors. She was very churchy, and then he went toward her church, and she died of cancer at 51. Never
Hmm.
smoked. I don't live such a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Her mother, was quite old. I just couldn't figure out why that happened to her.
It just
We
happens.
don't know. It's just in your DNA.
It's in your genes,
Yeah,
right?
whatever. Oh,
Anyway, I didn't know if you had some bigger pictures, so I figured that would be
We didn't
nice.
have that many bigger ones
Yeah.
anymore. I've got
Yeah.
one big one, but these are so clear.
Yeah, they turned out.
Notice how the women all wore hats.
Yeah.
I wish they'd bring that back.
Hats and gloves.
Yeah, I like hats. Always have liked hats. Some of them I don't recognize, but a lot of them are older.
And then I gave this to your sister, so I figured even though you have one, I should make one for you too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a much nicer. We always
I
said
figured
Norma got mom's eyes.
you could put it in your old people's room upstairs.
I'll have it. They'll say, was that you? No, that couldn't be. No, that's a nice picture. Oh, they had their hair done with those bobs.
I know.
Actually, it's kind of attractive.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Oh, she is very.
Oh, she was really
Really pretty,
girl.
yeah.
So was Annie, and they both had those bright blue eyes, and practically all their kids had brown.
Yeah.
Norma had she had really pretty blue eyes, and Oregon. The rest of us were all brown.
Hmm.
Crazy. But now
Yeah.
Andy is hazel. But in my family, Pete and Joel had blue eyes, and all the rest had brown. Andy's are hazel. Trisha, Linda, and Lisa were all brown-eyed. It's supposed to predominate.
Hmm.
But
I
none of
don't-
you kids had brown, did you? Did Steve?
I have no idea.
You don't look at eyes. I
No.
always do look at eyes. I know you had blue. Jimmy, I don't know. I was trying to remember. Or Steve. Didn't Steve have kind of bluish eyes? I don't know.
I don't
How
know.
about Bob? He had blue eyes.
I have no idea.
You wouldn't even know. Oh gosh, I always see eyes. So But that is really a nice picture. I might hang that one up instead. Well, no,
No,
the
you
big
got that
one in
nice
the-
one. That's that
I'm
looks
gonna
nice
put
up
the
there.
big one in the living, the old room, what I call it, antique room, and I'll hang this one in the hall. That is really pretty.
Yeah, no,
It is true then, your nose grows as you get older. Stop, stop. But it is so. We should go to, there's a little town in Iowa where Josephine was buried. Josephine was really pretty. She looked different than Annie and Jerry, you know, too, but we were always wanting, and they won't tell you anything, you know. We always thought it was so strange that she divorced Miles Crandall, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And so Raymond Crandall was her child with him, and then she had the second child with Fred Froning, and then she died in childbirth.
Right.
So, but the two boys still look really a lot alike.
Mhm.
They really do. But Josie had really pretty features, and well, I got her in my old book. I think
Right.
you saw it.
Yeah.
And I sent that picture to her sons. They didn't have a picture of their own mother.
Really.
I just had them enlarged and sent them. They weren't enlarged as nice as this, but I got Walgreens is a little better than Walmart,
Yeah.
and so they were nice. But I
Okay.
thought that was so funny how they did that, and why did Grandma and Grandpa keep Raymond? Well, because she died. They raised Raymond, and then these other people at Froning's, and Larry and Arlene Froning, they were adopted by Froning's. Must have been some relation to the one she married the second time.
Could be. I don't
That
know.
could be. I don't
Yeah.
know the story of it. But they both turned out okay. Raymond was
Good.
career Army, and well, he wasn't career, but he was in Second World War for 5 years. So,
Mm.
and then the other one farmed and did well. They were at a few reunions. I had them in the reunion book.
Okay.
You know, that they were. But that was so different. They wouldn't say why she divorced this man, or you know. We never knew. They were
And
so
that was so-
close-mouthed about
Well,
it.
and I mean, nobody got divorced
Oh,
back
no.
then. I mean, that was
No, and I remember Ma talking about
huge
somebody to me
deal.
once, and she said, and she was a divorced woman,
yeah.
like she had the scarlet letter.
So it must have been a big deal
Yeah,
for
it
her
was.
to
Must
go
have been
through
something,
that.
and they would never say.
Yeah.
They never said. And Annie found out years later. Isaac told her that Cora had to come home from school because she had a nervous breakdown. Aunt Cora, the one who
Mhm.
never married.
Yeah.
There's a lot hidden back there about that, but we'll never know now.
From school, meaning
She
college,
must have gone away to school someplace.
to a college type. I mean,
She
after
had to
high
come
school.
back because and then one time she and Joe won a spelling contest in
Right,
the
that's-
cities, and
that's
it
a
was
state.
in that paper. And so I said to Cora, wasn't that fun when you and Joe won that contest? And she said, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, she
So
didn't. She
something-
didn't win. I mean, she got fourth place.
Yeah, but she
but-
just
but
didn't
you-
want, but she stayed up there with Joe, and something was wrong there. Something was wrong between Joe and the rest of them. And then Joe, you know, was a suicide.
Yeah.
Leon said he had to go back on some record because he was filling out something, if there are any suicides in your family. He said he had to go back and change it. He had forgotten it, you know. Yeah, it's strange, wasn't it? And then we had those nice pictures of him, and to think when they all went to the university, they said, were you relation to Joe Waldo? They thought he looked so much like him, and he was really bright too. And he skipped a whole year later on by
Yeah.
taking the test, the sophomore. I don't know if we could now, I suppose it's even harder. But he did look like him, coal black hair, and just looked exactly like that thing.
Leon looked like Joe. Is that what you?
Yeah, something like Joe.
Okay.
He was so dark-haired, and he went to the same school, and
Hmm.
that they actually picked him out and recognized him. Some instructor, probably older,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And Levon and I went to that pink schoolhouse reunion where he taught 1 year, and Cora said, I can remember going out there and getting Joe. And there on the bulletin board was a report card signed Joseph Waldo, the teacher.
Yeah.
My mother said he only lasted 1 year because he's got slapped somebody or did something wrong. But anyway, he left home and he was just like a mystery. And did anybody ever find out where he was all these years? And they didn't talk about it, but they were just sick about it. Oh, I remember how bad they felt.
Well, I told you on that one picture of Joe and Cora
Yeah.
together, I enlarged it, and you can see in the background there's a medallion that said Minnesota State
Yeah.
fair. So that picture
That
was
had to be
taken when
this-
they won
Went
the
to the spelling contest.
state spell off, I think
Yeah,
they called it.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
It
was
was just
some-
kind of neat.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. They had a lot, things were really different, and the fact that they sent Ike and Dad away to school, we figured it was because they were the wilder ones of the bunch. They sent them to that Red Wing Seminary. They were there
Yeah.
like a year. And we went there once to a casino, and we went to, I think they had torn it down.
So did they go at the same time then?
I think
The
so.
same year?
And would they talk
Because
about-
Ike was
A couple of years older.
3 years older than Alfred.
But we always wondered, and could you get anything out of them? I wondered what Ida would have said. Part of it is we always knew that they did not really want to farm, because they were more to reading and, politics even, they were really different than some of the farmers. And so when they had that land from Grandpa, then why wouldn't they have rented more like other people did? They could have made a really success of it.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They even got rid of the stock, because then they didn't have chores. They were not the farmer type, either
Yeah,
one of them. They
yeah.
should have been like Eddie, a public accountant or something, like. But they must have wanted them to do it. They
Yeah.
always talked about them, the boys. They called them the boys, those two. And Selmer was across the road, and he was. When they moved over, Selmer took the other side. Us kids were just hated it, because we used to climb up on the windmill, and way to the top. We did all kinds of things that we should have gotten hurt, but we never did. Anyway, when they came, then it just changed. Then they dragged their house over. They moved the house over, and then our dads helped them dig the basement, I suppose, by hand. I don't remember seeing any equipment there.
Yeah.
And then they lived there quite a while, and then after Laura died, then the farmer bought the land and tore everything down, and they had remodeled the house. Wasteful. We are wasteful in America. That's what Germans told Ma.
Yeah.
We don't tear down good buildings, and
Yeah.
so. But at least Frost took our schoolhouse, and that big schoolhouse, and turned it into a senior living. So in Frost, Minnesota, where we went to school.
They moved this Mondale school into town?
No, not the grade school.
Oh,
high
the
school.
high
We
school.
went to high school.
All right.
They
So that's
kept
not
it-
a high school anymore?
Oh, no, not for a long time. In
Okay.
'76, the grade school, I subbed over there when we first moved back to Wells.
Okay.
No license or anything for Minnesota, but you know how they get. So I subbed over there, and then I saw all of our pictures, each graduating class. They were still there when we went for the reunion.
Yeah.
They put one room for a restaurant, part of it's for a library, and then they have rooms for seniors. I thought that was smart,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because they didn't tear it down.
So is there a consolidated high school then for
Well, they
those
all
kids?
went to Blue Earth.
Okay.
Frost went to Blue Earth, Winnebago went to Blue Earth, and Elmore went to Blue Earth. And then Wells is the only school in that part of the county. And the people that go there were like Bryceland, Keister, and if they want to, they can go to Alden, Walters. All of them had schools, and now they're all gone.
Okay.
Just ruins the town, though. But
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it does, really. But
Yeah.
that happened fairly recently, and now Wells built a new school. It made everybody, I suppose Levon told you, sick, because costs raised the farmers' taxes. Just terrible. They're paying for the school, and they don't have kids there anymore.
Well, yeah.
And then I took
That's
her-
always the complaint,
Yeah,
but,
I know it. I
you
know
know,
it. But they really raise their taxes a lot, though.
yeah.
I don't know. I hope it works. Now they're going to try to get that factory going again. That was Banquet Foods,
That's
Finally,
what
the
Grandma
bank
worked
took
at
it over.
Banquet.
Yeah. And now maybe they will make progress there. But the thing is, when we moved to Wells in '76, it was like booming, like 3 hardware stores, and they had jewelry stores, bakery, dime store. They had a couple restaurants, and the school was really bustling, and they had a good superintendent, good principal. School was good then.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a while, slowly the bowling alley burned. They never built it. The furniture store guy lost it because he went too high when he bought it, bought too much inventory. So that was gone. And when the implement place, tractors and that stuff was gone, slowly the town just went downhill as far as,
Yeah.
well, now they still have something. They'll always keep going, but not like it was. But if they get that factory going, and then they had a lot of people lived there and worked in Banquet Foods. Not
Mhm.
big wages, but really good benefits.
Yeah.
But oh, I tell you, Lisa and I worked there a few months once. Wouldn't that be to have a life like that where you worked in a factory? I worked on the chicken leg line where we took the meat off. We first went in, every kettle they slammed, I jumped, you know. I said it'd be a good experience to work in a factory once, because I never had, you know. Lisa threw up. We worked there just a few months, and we got glasses for the family, and it was, you know, if you saved it, she was saving for a wedding. And they said, you can come back anytime, but we never did. But the chicken smell, I couldn't eat chicken for whole months.
Oh,
I just couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
But you get a line and you meet such different people. So I can see why factory people get like they do.